brought to you by CCT.
Viewers, by now we are well aware of the fact that Hurricane Dorian left quite a wake of destruction after slamming into the Bahamas, of course, as a Category 5 hurricane. I mean, the devastation, the losses are incomprehensible. And as you can imagine, many persons and organizations are mobilizing help to support the people of the Bahamas. Today, we sit down with the Rotary Assistant Governor, Ms. Lorna Smith OBE herself, of course, to discuss how the Rotary family will be a part of initiating a telethon that will aid the people of the Bahamas. So stick around for more details on how you too can be a part of that. When you need to stay connected with friends and families at home or abroad, the best choice for you is Freedom. CCT Freedom. With the lowest rates in the market, our Freedom plan gives you unlimited calls and texting. Plus, our Freedom One package includes 10 gigabits of super fast unlimited LTE data and unlimited calls to the BVI, USA, USVI, Canada, Puerto Rico, and UK lines. Why pay for overages when you can enjoy CCT Freedom? Stop by at one of our stores today and speak with one of our representatives to find out more about our CCT Freedom packages. Ms. Lorna Smith, thank you so much for joining us today. I know today it's for a more bigger cause, of course, not to speak about your greatness only, but also how you lend your efforts and how the Rotary family is lending to the recovery efforts in the Bahamas. So just tell us a little bit about the conversation on behalf of the Rotary Body and the BVI in connection with the body in the Bahamas. What has that conversation been like as it regards the devastation that the people are experiencing as we speak?
Well, Jovan, thanks for having me. I'm certainly happy to be representing the Rotary family in the British Virgin Islands. And I say the Rotary family because it's not just the Rotary clubs, but it's also the Rotaract clubs as well that are involved. So that's why I'm saying the Rotary family. We are part of District 7020, which is Bahamas. Bahamas is a part of that same district as well. In fact, our last district governor, but one, was from the Bahamas, and that's Mr. Felix Stubbs. So we have been in touch with him, as well as, in fact, our next district governor after our current district governor, who's from the BVI, that would be District Governor Charles, is also from the Bahamas.
Wow.
So we have that very close relationship with the Bahamas. And on Sunday, when we heard the terrible news of what was pending, we immediately got in touch. Our contacts are, for the most part, in Nassau.
Which has kind of remained untouched by the hurricane.
Remained relatively untouched by the hurricane, that's right. So we were constantly in touch with them to find out what was happening. They briefed us. We talked about the best way that we could help. And we got to a point, in fact, by Sunday evening, we knew we were going to meet as a Rotary family to discuss how we could best help. And certainly at the back of our minds was the idea of mounting a telethon. And by Monday, we were able to make the announcement by Monday night. And so we're here, and we want to thank you, 284 Media, for helping us to get the word out as well.
Absolutely.
And for being a major sponsor, too.
Thank you so much. We're more than happy to be a part of anything that brings help to a cause that we too would have experienced at one point, many times rather, in our history. So clearly, Ms. Smith, a lot of their essentials have been compromised, basic necessities, thousands of homes, food security. How did you go about deciding on a telethon as a body? Because we know they need water, they need food, they need clothing. Why a telethon? Tell us why was that important, first and foremost.
Certainly, a telethon seemed to be the most practical approach in the circumstances. As I said to you, we had been in touch, or we are in touch with our Rotary colleagues in the Bahamas. And money is the most essential thing for them at this moment. The preliminary estimates for just Abaco on Monday morning or Monday midday in terms of loss, destruction, and so on was about $8+ billion.
Yes.
$8+ billion. And you would imagine that that has gone up significantly since then. And by at that time, the hurricane had not even reached Freeport. So it's multiples of that. And the money, it's easy to get the money out to the Bahamas and to the people who are in need, much easier than getting, food and water and so on, as essential as those things are. And that's why we said, as a first step, because our support is not going to stop on Tuesday, it's going to continue. But certainly on Tuesday, as a first step, we thought we would do the telethon. And it's easy for us to do a telethon because we've done it before.
Okay.
We've done it, we did one in 2006, I think, or 2004, when there was that horrific tsunami in the Southeast Asia region. We did a telethon then. And then in 2010, when there was the devastating earthquake in Haiti, we did a telethon. And it was incredible that we raised, in a day, we used a combination of what we called at the time, dubbed at the time, a bucket parade, where we would be on the streets and collect money from people as they were on their way home.
Wow.
Then we did the telethon, and I believe I'm right in saying we collected close to $200,000, or we had pledges for close to $200,000 in that short space of time. But this speaks to the generosity of BVI and the people of this territory.
Absolutely. So let's just get into what's going to be happening on the 10th of September. That's next Tuesday. Of course, a Mega Telethon. We're hoping that all of BVI come on board. Just walk us through the process of how it's going to be.
Certainly. And I will begin by saying that the Rotary clubs, the Rotary family has already pledged $15,000.
Wow.
So we have seed money.
Right.
And we are hoping to set the pace in that case. We start at 6 p.m. We will have a panel of discussants, if you want to call it that.
Okay.
We will have a number of telephones, a bank of telephones, so that you can call in your pledges. Because of the urgency of this matter, we don't want people to just pledge. We want to collect the money so that it can be sent to the Bahamas in short order, either on Wednesday or Thursday. So how are we going to accomplish that? We've thought it through, and we will have people either come down to Maria's, in this case, which is the headquarters for the telethon. We will also have depots on Virgin Gorda, Anegada, and Just Van Dyke, so that people can come. Yes, because it's a BVI effort. Right. And we are setting that all up. By Friday, we'll be able to tell you exactly where these depots will be. And as one of my Rotary colleagues likes to say, we follow the money. So if you can't come to Maria's and bring us your money, we will come to you and collect your pledge. Of course, there are credit card facilities that will be set up, that are established, so you can also give the persons who are on the phone your credit card details.
Okay.
So it's all easy, and we are hoping to raise as much money as we can. We are also, in addition to the telethon, though, we are at the same time setting up a GoFundMe page, and that would be not a BVI. It's a BVI effort, but the funds would go straight to an account in the Bahamas, which is simpler, and people would feel probably more comfortable with that. But let me say, there is no problem with contributing to Rotary in the British Virgin Islands, because we have an account, a disaster account, and every penny that is collected will go directly to the Bahamas.
That's one of the things I wanted to get into. I know a lot of persons have a few concerns about the monetary donations, of course. So yes. I wanted us to speak to the legitimacy of the process, as well as the fund that is set up specifically, the fund that we will deposit our monies into directly in the Bahamas.
Of course, yes. If I could talk about the fund in the BVI first, it's a fund that will be at a bank in the BVI, and the money will be transferred as soon as we have the money directly to the Bahamas. As I said, every penny of it will go there. Not only that, we had to get permission from the Deputy Governor's office to be able to mount the telethon. And we would be expected to give a report on all the monies that we collected and how these monies will be used. So please, there should be no fear about contributing, because as I've said, the money will be transferred directly to the Bahamas. And Rotary, as an international organization, is built for this kind of eventuality. And we have a proven track record. We have Rotary International, then we have the various districts, and then we have the local clubs. And it's very well done. You would recall that Rotary was one of the first organizations, Rotary International, in our own calamity in 2017.
Right.
Rotary was one of the first. The Red Cross came in, of course, and several other organizations, but Rotary was one of the first to be on the ground with their shelter boxes.
Right.
That was a creature of Rotary International. And I believe up until maybe last year, there were still shelter boxes around. And so, as I said before, we have that track record, and we would encourage people to give without any reservation, because not a penny of it will be kept. Even when we do fundraisers here locally, for instance, in the Rotary Club of Tortola, one of our signature fundraiser is called the Grand Affair.
Okay.
We tell you exactly how the money is going to be spent, and then at the end of it, all those who contribute, we tell you how that money is spent. Of course, we express our gratitude and so on. So there should be no concern whatsoever. I was going to say, I suppose the monies that would come out, if any at all, would be monies used, a few dollars for transferring and so on. But otherwise, no, there are no overheads, no reservations, no money will be kept in the BVI, will be spent on local club activities at all. Not in this instance.
Understood.
We are concentrating solely on the Bahamas and the devastation there, and how we as a country can help them, because all we can say is, there go we, but for the grace of God.
Yes, I absolutely agree with you on that. Ms. Smith, without a doubt, this tragedy hits close to home as we reflect on our almost 2-year anniversary of Irma, and just remembering where we came from, what we were able to survive, and also how important it is for persons to come on board in this time of need. Just kindly speak to the people in closing on why they should come on board and be a part of the telethon come Tuesday.
Certainly. Just as you said, we were there in 2017, and so many people came to our rescue. You would recall that Puerto Rico before they realized that Maria was going to devastate them 2 weeks later. They were one of the first people to assist us. I mean, we had about, I think it was 9 container loads of food and clothing and other essentials that they sent in immediately. They could do that because they are so close to us.
Right.
In our case, it's easier. As I said before, Bahamas is quite a few miles away, and what is most essential to them, and they've said this very specifically, is financial resources. And everybody in the BVI, don't be afraid to give $1. It doesn't matter. There's not an amount that is too small or an amount that is too big. In fact, I was told, in fact, I know of one company in the US Virgin Islands. What they are doing is that they are giving the funds from tips.
Wow.
Yes, isn't that? I mean, people are
Amazing.
so touched
Yes.
by what
It's
has
a lot of
happened.
compassion.
Compassion is the right word indeed. They are giving tips, all the tips that are generated from this particular restaurant, rather than going into people's pockets. These tips are going into going directly to helping the people of the Bahamas. I was reading while I was in your green room.
Yes.
I was reading that Royal Caribbean Cruise Lines, for instance, are giving $1 million to the effort. I was listening on television this morning and I saw that the US, in fact, they have given significantly in terms of support for transporting people by helicopter and
Yes,
so
they have
on
already
to
begun.
safety. Oh, yes. So everybody is helping. And let me appeal to the people of the British Virgin Islands. Let me appeal to the generosity of our people. I'm very conscious that the hurricane season is not over. And while we're talking, we know that there are systems developing out in the Atlantic.
Yes, 2 of them already.
Exactly, and it's pretty scary. But we take comfort in the fact that just as we give to Bahamas, just as we gave to Puerto Rico to the extent that we could after their own calamity, should anything happen to us, the favor would be returned to us. And the Bahamas, as the rest of the Caribbean, they are our brothers and sisters, and we should help them. I saw on television last night the Prime Minister was speaking, and we would all have seen that up to last night there were 20 people who had perished.
Yes.
And he did say that it is likely that those
The
numbers
will
will increase.
significantly.
So when you look at that and when you think about that, you know, we're alive. Yes, we are still recovering from Hurricanes Irma and Maria.
Years
but
after.
but we're alive and
Yes.
we're doing well in terms of the recovery, and we will continue to recover. So let us help our brothers and sisters in this moment of great need as they try to dig out and get themselves back on their feet by contributing on the 10th, that is Tuesday, the 10th of September, starting at 6 p.m. As I said, if you can come down to Maria's, please come. If you cannot come, or you give your pledge to the phone, the persons manning the phones, and we will happily collect those monies from you. And no amount is too big or too small as a contribution.
And of course, contact numbers will be out soon enough.
Yes.
So for persons who, like you said, cannot come to you, you guys are willing to actually
Absolutely.
reach out to those persons who are willing to show compassion, of course. Viewers, I just want to remind you that things are deteriorating very fast, mentally, physically, emotionally. For the people in the Bahamas, I mean, I can reflect on so many stories where people would have lost their limbs. I remember the story of one man protecting his mother, and debris, literally injuring his arms, and him having to let go of his mother and losing his mother.
Oh my goodness.
In that struggle. Another man recounted trying to save his child, and the surge of the water taking the child away. So many losses that
absolutely.
are incomprehensible. And I think that's why it resonates so much with us, because at any point in time, it could be us. We are within the hurricane region. And while our devastation may not have been as severe as the Bahamas, we understand.
Absolutely.
We definitely understand. So with that said, we are appealing to you once again. Think about the devastation in the Bahamas, the people who would have lost their lives, the emotional shock that they're dealing with, the lack and the losses, and just in your hearts, find it in your hearts to give. There are many efforts that are being organized. Like you said, many persons are trying to mobilize physical help,
yes,
goods, foods, necessities,
water,
all those basic
yes,
necessities. But I do applaud the effort of the Rotary Body, being that it's going to be a monetary effort, because based on the news as well, the airport is still under 5 feet of water. Which means it'll probably take another few days for the water to subside, and then maybe another few days for it to reopen. So definitely this might be the most effective and most efficient way of getting help to the people of the Bahamas. With that said, like Ms. Smith said, $10, $1, $1,000, it really doesn't matter. Whatever you can do will be truly appreciated. Again, 284 Media is so happy to be on board to assist in whatever way we can. We will be going live to assist persons online to ensure that they know what to do, how to do it, and how they can be a part of this initiative. Any last words for our viewers?
Yes, thanks for that. I'd like to also to reiterate my gratitude to 284 Media for your support and your assistance. And I would also like to thank our many sponsors, other sponsors. CCT,
yes,
your sister company, of course, is providing us with the phone bank. Then we have Maria's is a sponsor as well. And all of the radio, television, media, online media are also available to, in fact, they have offered to support us.
Absolutely.
So we're looking for a really successful event, given the measure of support that has been offered. And not just the media, but people. People have offered, how can we help? Have said, how can we help? And with that kind of enthusiasm, we are expecting to raise a significant sum for the people of the Bahamas, our brothers and sisters in the Bahamas. And thank you again for your support.
You're most welcome. I have no doubt that we can do it. I'm Jovan Wilson, and this has been your 284 exclusive with Miss Lorna Smith OBE, of course, of the Rotary family. Of course, in regards to the telethon that will be hosted next Tuesday, that is the 10th of September, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. at Maria's by the Sea. We're looking forward to your support.
Is business slow, cash flow down, hosting an upcoming event? We can help. Advertise with 284 Media and take your business or event to the next level by enhancing your present marketing and messaging strategies. Allow our team of experts to create a personalized ad that sets your business apart from all the rest. This could be your business or event. So, what are you waiting for? Contact our marketing team at 284media@cctbvi.com. Advertising with us works.